And in this spirit of oneness, I invite you to relax. I invite you to connect with the earth. Just get very comfortable, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And now I want you to turn internally. And just feel the volume that your lips are occupying. Feel the volume of space inside your lips. And now feel the volume that your lips occupy in space. And now feel the volume inside your mouth. And feel the volume of space that your mouth occupies in space. Now feel the volume between your ears. And feel the volume of space that this occupies in space. And now feel the volume that your eyes occupy. And feel the volume of space that this occupies in space. And now feel the volume of your whole head. And feel how much this occupies in space. And now feel the volume in each of your arms. And feel the volume that this occupies in space. And now feel the volume of space inside your torso. And feel how much this occupies in space. And now feel the volume of your abdomen. And feel how much this occupies in space. And now feel the volume that each of your legs occupies. Just feel the volume inside each of your legs. And feel how much this occupies in space. And now feel the volume inside your whole body. And feel how much this occupies in space. And now feel the volume of space itself. And feel how you are one with this whole space. And I invite you to rest for a minute in this oneness with all that is. now, in this meditative state, let's move into the inner healing experience. Universal love enfolds me. Universal wisdom inspires me. Universal spirit enlightens me. Universal power encircles me. I am one, and all is well. And as we begin the inner healing process, let me invite you to relax in the quiet confidence, opening yourself to the miracle-working higher power. I invite you now to symbolize this unity of your thinking and feeling nature by touching your chest with your right hand. And let my words act as your own for your own inner acceptance and receptivity. I acknowledge that there is a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own. I am in the midst of it, and it is in the midst of me, sensitive and responsive to my every thought, word, action, and feeling. I now make this true for myself by saying aloud, I acknowledge. I acknowledge in the higher power working through my life. I admit that I am personally responsible for solving my own problems while being guided and assisted by something greater than myself. As I am ready to surrender the conflict of my ego to the wisdom of the infinite presence, I simply speak these words, I surrender. Knowing that forgiveness is the key to unconditional love and the feeling of heaven, I now unconditionally forgive anyone and everyone who has ever injured me in any way, real or imagined. And I now forgive myself for all my mistaken judgments and their resulting actions. From my deepest level of understanding, I say, I forgive. Realizing that I continually experience the effects of my own thinking, I now choose to allow this higher power to recreate me deeply, filling my mind with thoughts that are only constructive, positive, loving, and beautiful. I call upon this divine inflow by stating aloud, I choose. I now center upon that one special idea that I am willing to accept as real for me in this coming week. Visualizing the idea as already acted upon and brought to pass. In seeing my idea become a fact of my experience, I enjoy the happiness and peace of my thought fulfilled, and gratefully speak these words, I accept.
I accept.
Knowing that I have an everlasting place in the midst of the power that sustains all creation, as well as the support of all those around me, I allow myself to relax in the peace of fulfillment and gratitude and say, I release. And now in my mind's eye, I envision the presence of someone near and dear to me. Someone who's not physically present with me this morning. And I turn toward that image in my mind and I say, I'm grateful for the good in your life. And now I open the world to I open my eyes to the world around me, and I turn joyfully to whoever is near me, in mind or in thought or in presence, and I say, I'm grateful for the good in your life.
Grateful for the good in your life. I have a bit of a sinus thing going on today. It's not the plague, so you don't have to back away from me. It's really all right. I had it checked out. It's all good to go, and it's dissipating, and I blame the azaleas. Or the pine trees, or the ash trees, or the oak trees, or something, because we live in this tropical wilderness of southeast Texas where everything bursts into blue all at one time, because it is springtime. Springtime happened this week. We have the springtime panels up here on the stage. We have our dear friends here in the room. A small group assembled this morning, all of them involved in some particular way in the production of this service. We have Jeffrey and Brian doing the music, and David and Danielle and Lisa with parts in the service. And Lisa's filming us for Facebook Live and also later for YouTube. And what I'm doing right now here is diverting your attention. And I'm going to work for this next little while to divert your attention away from what's been bombarding it for at least the last 2 weeks, possibly longer, away from what's nagging at you, or what's been left undone, or what's going to have to be done as we go forward in this. We're in an experience together that we've never had in my lifetime. We're in an experience now that we're learning how to navigate, and we will navigate it, and we will thrive, and we will make it past this. Last week I spoke elsewhere. I was not able to be with you. It was poignant for me because I was very happy where I was and with people I was with and what I was doing and all. But I touched my face. What I really wanted to do was be here for Reverend Lisa, her first Sunday to speak. And what I said where I was is that there is a place that you can go where nothing has ever been wrong. There's a place where you can go where nothing has ever been wrong. This is the place that we go in our spiritual work. This is the place that we go in treatment where nothing's ever been wrong. And one of the misunderstandings about metaphysics is the concept that we stay there. And that we're not good metaphysicians if we don't stay there. But we don't stay there. We come back from there. We draw what we need from there, and then we come back to here to deal with what's going on here. And that's the power that we have to turn our own minds. Religious science and New Thought do not convey to us supernatural powers. They teach us to use the natural ones that we have that we may have overlooked. We have a natural power, each of us, you and me, to change our thinking in any given moment. And it may not stay changed, so we change it again. And we're constantly tweaking it and revising it. We're constantly adjusting. It's like I remember when I was a little kid, and the one person at this stage in my life who owned a car in our family was my uncle, because we lived in a city where you had mass transit, And he had a car, and I'd ride with him, and I'd watch him go down a perfectly straight street, and there was constant play in the steering wheel. And I didn't understand that because to me, the road looked, like I said, perfectly straight, but there was this constant adjustment. And it wasn't until I was the one behind the wheel where I learned why you do that. Because you feel the road, right? You feel the road. And it's a constant series of adjustments. So consciousness is a constant series of adjustments. That's what we use our natural power to effect. That I can change my mind. A recommendation that I have for all of us is to use this time where we're being told to stay home to good advantage. And you don't have to come out of it like Shakespeare during the play, having written King Lear, and you don't have to come out of it like Isaac Newton during the same play, having written his treatise on optics. Nobody's keeping score. But use this time to your advantage to get to know your own mind, to use your own mind, to understand the process of cognition, to understand the process of co-creation. And in so doing, what you'll find is that all you need from the news is a daily briefing. Take some time every day to catch up on the news, because it's changing all the time, especially the stuff that's in your county, in your neighborhood, what you need to do, what's available to you, what's no longer available to you. This is something to observe. And then the national news and the international news and how things are unfolding along the way. And in our government, they call this, or any group really, doctors do this, hospitals, any press conference, they call it a briefing. So keep it brief. Keep it brief, short, sweet, and to the point. The information that you're gathering that you need. And then go to the place where nothing has ever been wrong. And be reminded that in the mind of the one, there's no such thing as contagion or disease, no such thing as mortality, no such thing as job loss, no such thing with stress or anxiety. There's just that great wave Brian sang of, cascading over us. There is just peace. There is just love. And then go with that a while. Go with that a while. Live in that spirit. Live in that feeling. And if anxiety comes up again, breathe into it. Say to yourself, there's only God. There's one life. That's what we do in this spiritual mind treatment. It's the most healing thing, greatest remedy you can imagine. It's to know there's one life. That life is spirit. That life is all the life there is, no matter how it appears. There's just one life. Last week I also said that sometimes our work is harder. We call it our spiritual work, right? Our spiritual work is to recognize oneness in all things, to have an optimistic attitude, to believe that all things are part of one whole system that's intelligent and purposeful and orderly. That's our work. Sometimes our work is harder, but it's still our work. Sometimes our work is harder, but it's still our work. You sign up for the work, it's your work. You signed up for the work when you became conscious. It's not a matter of being a card-carrying member of Creative Life or any other spiritual community. And by the way, for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, we are Creative Life Spiritual Center of Spring, Texas, USA, suburb of Houston. Happy to get to know you. Hope you'll tune in regularly as we do these things. And we're going to keep doing them even when we're back up to full speed and have a room full of people to talk to. Okay? But as consciousness unfolds, sometimes the work is harder. And sometimes the work appears harder, and there's a difference between the work appearing harder and the work being harder. The work appears harder when somebody comes to you as their friend, as their practitioner, as their minister. They come to you and they say, I have a big problem. And they describe it to you, and it sounds like a big problem, and it appears hard. Well, why it only appears harder and is not harder is because it's not your problem. They have a situation going on, and you're able to objectify it somewhat. You're able to distance yourself from the feeling of it. You can put yourself into the feeling for the purpose of compassion, but then you can withdraw from the feeling for the purpose of declaration. When the work is harder, and doesn't just appear harder, is when it's your issue too. And that's what we're facing now in the world, which makes it very interesting because everybody's affected by this. Every man, woman, and child on the planet is affected by this in some way. Some are ill. Some have made their transitions. Some worry about becoming ill, worry about being caregivers to the ill. And everybody else who's not thinking illness is thinking, what about my job? What about my travel? What about my graduation? What about that wedding, that anniversary that I wanted to go to? What about my future? And what will this mean? What will society look like 6 months or a year or 2 years from now? And we don't know, and I think it's too early to delve into the big cosmic consequences of all of this because we really don't know. But since I'm free to speculate standing here, a couple of things come to mind. One was that about a year ago, in the summer, I read an article about social distancing, and it called it a bad thing. Right? It said when people hole up at home, just look at their screens, go out in public, you can see people in restaurants and stuff, they're sitting there all looking at their phones, they're not making conversation, they're not making eye contact. They said this could be toxic. That what builds community is proximity. You put people together, and you find this also in the healing of biases and bigotry. You find this when you put people who are different from one another together, they begin to notice that they're more like each other than they aren't. And that leads to new social attitudes, and that leads to new voting patterns and new legislation, and all sorts of amazing things happen out of that, where we begin to model one human family. But when people hole up and isolate, they get strange. That was the article I read last summer. The article I read last week said we need to socially distance ourselves from one another. You guys did a skit about that, didn't you, last Sunday? You modeled it on the stage here. how we're supposed to stay apart from one another. Well, what does that mean? Why would it seem like we're being moved into something that doesn't work, and we all know it doesn't work? Well, sometimes life has to rub your nose in it a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes if you don't get the lesson, it's like with personal pain. If you don't pay attention to the small nagging thing, it can turn into something. If you don't pay attention to the psychic or the intuitive impulse, all of a sudden it can blindside you, and it's information trying to get to you, and it's had a hard time getting to you because you've not been paying attention. So now you pay attention. There's an old saying, it's this advice we may follow, but pain we obey, right? So maybe what's happening now is it's sort of like nature saying to us, if I can personify nature for a moment, or even God, for the purpose of conversation. It's like it's saying to us, well, if you think it's all that, let's just try. If you really think you need to stay apart from one another and just stay focused on the mechanical and the electronic devices in your life and not look around and not have human touch and human empathy and so on, let's take all those things away for a while and see if you miss them. I don't know. That's part of my speculation. A lot of stuff is up right now that doesn't work. And we've known all along it doesn't work. Greed doesn't work. Emma Hopkins has a whole section in one of her books on this, on greed. Because if you go into greed with the idea that you don't have enough, the idea that you don't have enough is what's going to manifest. And you can steal all you want, and you can cut corners all you want, you can cheat and defraud all you want, but you won't get to keep it. Because the belief that's motivating those actions is that you don't have it. Same is true of love. If you feel you're unlovable, surround yourself with people and still not feel loved. The inner work is what has to be done. And I think this is what's showing us. This experience that we're having together. And we use euphemisms like that in metaphysics. We call it an experience. We call it an adventure. We don't say it's a bad thing. We say it's a thing that is a teaching tool, that is an information bringer. There's something happening that we're all participating in as co-creators. There's something happening that we're all working toward, and it's good. So take the time for the news briefing, and then do some good, healthy stuff. Sing a song, write a song, pick up a musical instrument, read a book. I got all these books I haven't read. Watch old movies, watch old videos, watch new videos, Catch up on things that make you feel good. Surround yourself with this. Do something like I saw online. There are no sports on TV now, right? Nothing. No sport, zero. They might even cancel or postpone the Olympics. No sports on TV. So somebody online invented, do you know what a Roomba is? Okay? Yeah, a little round vacuum cleaner, a little robotic vacuum cleaner goes across. They took a Roomba thing and a Swiffer thing, and they had a curling tournament. You know where you push the stone, you sweep the stone across the ice? You've seen this in the Winter Olympics. Well, they did a little curling thing and they filmed it. I saw another person play tic-tac-toe with their cat. And the cat, it licked its paw and it put it down in various squares, and it wasn't familiar with the game, so it didn't know to block, It just went linear. And so the human who was playing the cat won the game, and in the last frame of the video, the cat attacked the human. Attacked the hand. You can create games like this. You can see sweet things that are happening online. You can see the incredible ingenuity that we have as people to entertain ourselves and each other. There is an aquarium in Australia where they have a penguin enclosure, and it's closed to the public now. So they let out one of the penguins, maybe all of them, but the one I saw, they let out one of the penguins, about yay tall. Penguins are funny things, they look you right in the eye. I mean, they're very intelligent and very intelligent appearing to a point of almost creepiness. Well, they let the penguin out to walk the halls of the aquarium. so that it could see the other tanks not in its area where the fish are. And there's a video of this penguin making its way through the corridors of this aquarium, looking in the windows, looking at all of this fish. It's the most amazing thing. He's having the experience of a lifetime. If you ask that penguin 6 months from now or whenever this thing blows past us, well, how was your experience of the lockdown? The penguin will say, I had a fine time. I learned so much. I want that for us. I want us to come out of our houses here where we've all become the greatest blues guitarists who've ever lived, where we can all press 300 pounds. I want us to come out of our roll out of our houses, back into the human discourse, back into what they call the Agora, the marketplace. Having fulfilled our dreams, having taken the time to really get clear on who we are as individuals, so that as we regather in company, we can be really clear on who we are, wish to be as a society. For there is one life, and that life is God. And that life is all the life there is. That life is my life, your life, everybody's life right now. One last thing for you, because I'm noted for one last thing for you. One last thing for you is this. Somebody's suffering today worse than you are. And somebody's suffering today less than you are. The ones who are suffering less than you are draw from their strength because they have enough to give. If you read of people who are financially insulated or socially insulated somehow from any kind of sense of lack, draw from that. That's there for you too. And the people who are suffering worse than you are right now, pass down some of your strength and power to them. A lot of people will have a new employment history after this past week, okay? Reach in your mind, if you can't in your hands, reach in your mind to those people who are out there, the people who served you dinner a week or two ago, or cut your hair, or did your nails, or in some way served you, the people in the stores, behind the counters. These are godlings just like you. Reach out to them and know that the same power that you're affirming for yourself is available right where they are, regardless of creed, regardless of narrow religious strictures. It's available to everybody all the time, and you help make that happen. So I thank you very much for your kind attention and welcome you to come back and see more of us. And Danielle is going to come up here now and tell you about more options that you have for checking out Creative Life online and some other things too. This is Danielle Mercadale, the chair of our board of trustees and licensed practitioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, welcome everyone online. We're happy to have you. Thank you for being here and joining us. We will continue to have 11 a.m. services via Facebook Live for the foreseeable future until this is over. We will also have various classes that we will offer virtually. So if you have not given Jesse your email address yet, you may submit that either in the comments or messenger on Facebook Live. You can also text it to any of the ministers here, and we will get you on our email so that you can get that information. In addition to that, at 12:30, we will be offering Practitioner of the Day treatment services via phone. Do we have that phone number somewhere?
Yeah.
We'll get that phone number for you right away. But with that, you may contact a practitioner via the hotline so that you can have treatment. That'll be today at 12:30. And we're also continuing our Thursday evening treatment services as well. So we can definitely get treatment out for you. You can contact practitioners. You should have our information in your emails. Individual ministers as well as practitioners that you can contact for individualized services, because we as a community want to continue to be here for you through these trying times. We know that we all need to stay in our homes, but at the same time we definitely still want to service you as a community. That phone number for you is 605-468-8016, and then you enter the code 572290#.
Say that again.
572290 pound or number sign
I'm looking for it.
Or hashtag.
or hashtag. That's it as well. And you will have practitioners on there every Sunday, starting today from 12:30 to 12:50. Do you have that one, Lisa?
No, I can't spell Telebridge apparently.
That's okay. We're all working together. This is a learning curve and a work in progress. So thank you for being here with us. Thank you for bearing with us.
Visit our website.
Oh, yeah. No, I want to give the other phone number, but I want to make sure Lisa has that one first.
That one's what's the other phone number?
Okay, for Thursday evening, 7 to 7:30, the phone number is 605-475-4847. And the code for that one, excuse me, allergies, not coronavirus, allergies, I promise. 472220 pound or hashtag or number sign, whichever suits you best. So that's the number for Thursday evenings. So please feel free to use those. In addition, we know, as Jesse mentioned in his talk, that there are several people right now that are not working, that money may be tight. We are treating for all of you. We understand that you may have additional mouths to feed 24/7 due to everyone being home. So food bills and electricity and things like that are going up. But one thing we do want to let you know is for us to continue to be here for you, for us to keep the lights on and keep this place in tip-top shape until we all return again. If you're financially able, we do ask you to please still give. You may go to creativelife.org. There's a donate button that is on the left of our website. If you click on that, you can donate through PayPal. Right now, your donations are needed more than ever because, again, since we're not together, there's no collection going on. This is the time for you to help out your center if you're financially able. So please do so. We really appreciate that. And with that, this is giving time. I invite everyone right now to join with me in saying our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. I am prosperous now, and so it is. And Lisa, are you coming during the
I
closing?
think so.
Okay, Lisa, our minister, our running rev, is coming to do our closing. Thank you, ma'am.
I have been running today between 3 screens. It's been interesting. As we work out the kinks in live streaming, we'll get there, I promise. We're learning to do this on the fly. All right, so I invite you now to take a deep breath. Breathe it all the way down. Relax as you release the breath. Take one more nice deep breath. Concentrate on filling up with oxygen. And know that there is one life, one power, one presence, one love. And that love flows through me, just as it flows through you. And in that love, all things are possible. And so I'm knowing that as this world adjusts to the new paradigm, that we see the good, that we look for the beauty, that we share the love, that we share that beauty, and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. This will not last forever. And in the span of history, this will be but a blink. So we are knowing healing. We are knowing that resources are moving and they are getting where they need to be, and that the people who need to be served, the services are there for them, just as we are here for you now. Spirit is all there is. And so reach out into that love. Know that it is an inexhaustible supply, and open to the gratitude of the beauty of springtime. We love you. We are with you. We are grateful for you. And I relax, know that it is so, and release my word into law. And so it is.
So it is.
Blessings upon all of you. Thank you for being with us. We will see you next time.